All right. So, Franco, I don't know, something like 2 years ago, I logically worked out that viruses can't possibly exist as they are described. Am I wrong?
You're right. I tell you what, viruses are not like bacteria. They are different. Viruses are not what we have been told. So, in our body, there are two creatures, two things that we produce depending on how our energy is. If we have good energy, so a good electric field and a good electromagnetic field, we produce microsomes, which are little tiny particles, smaller than a cell, but very, very powerful. And they travel at light speed all over the body. But if our energy is low, we produce viruses. So a virus is like a parasite. A virus is not an independent individual because it sucks life. It steals life away from ourselves. It's like a vampire. What is a virus made of? A virus is made of mainly of proteins, fragmented proteins. And where do they come from? They come from dead cells and dead bacteria. So, any moment we produce dead cells, dead bacteria, that's okay. If our energy is high, through the liver, through the skin, through the kidneys, through the digestive system, we get rid of those dead cells and dead bacteria. But what happens if our energy is low? Remember, this society is trying to reduce our energy as much as possible. They want us to be zombie. We are not zombie. We are divine, remember. So these fragmented proteins coming from dead cells and dead bacteria, if our energy is low, become viruses. A virus has a very low electromagnetic field. It is like a zombie itself. So these fragmented proteins stick together and steal some parts of DNA and RNA from other cells. And what's the purpose? It's in order to survive. Because without any RNA or DNA, those proteins will never survive. So a virus steals things away from our cells.
So Franco, some years ago, I had begun to realize that the whole virus thing was about like the nuclear thing, and I could logically work out and prove that what we were being told wasn't correct. One of the ways I did that is I said, hey, man, we've got electron microscopes. So anything that's bigger than an electron, we can image. And I went out to look, and lo and behold, everything that I was told was a virus was basically an artist's rendering or CGI of some sort. So if we were to tell people listening what a virus is, what would be a good way to describe it? Is it electromagnetic energy? Is that a good way to describe it?
Yes, it is electromagnetic energy, which is not a good energy. It is a bad energy, very low. And so it has to steal energy from other parts of our body.
So is it safe to say that one of the ways we might get sick with what we would call a virus is that our energy level drops, which attracts the negative electromagnetic energy to your body, which begins to act on you a bit like a vampire, sucking away your life force.
Perfect.
Okay, go ahead.
So these fragmented proteins stick together. Why? The reason why is that a virus has a low electromagnetic field, and so it has to infect some cells to become stronger. But those cells will die. So whenever a virus enters into a cell, steals away some DNA or RNA, and the cell will die. And this is very interesting. A virus has one specialization. It's able to detect a weak tissue, a ill tissue. A virus is like a radar, and it goes straight to the ill cell, to the ill tissue. You could say it has a good nose. He smells where the disease is. Because weak cells, damaged cells, have three features, three things. A weak cell has a very low electromagnetic field. A weak cell has a very low electric field. Our right electric field, as far as the cell is concerned, the membrane, the protection of the cell, a cell is in a good health when the electric field is just about 70 millivolts. That's the right number. 90 millivolts in our brain. Neurons have 90 millivolts of electric field. So first feature of a damaged, weak cell is low electromagnetic and electric field. Second, a damaged cell has acidity all around. So all the tissue, all the liquid around the cell is acid. And remember, acid is the beginning of disease, any disease, even cancer. Even cancer. And issue number 3, a weak cell has a lack of oxygen. So that's why I was telling you before, breathe. And be conscious of our breathing. Watch your breathing. Breathe. Take a deep breath and be happy with that.
That we create our own virus, our own evil agents, or
yes,
is it like I could walk into a room where they already exist, or am I bringing them with me?
You bring them with you. You make them, mainly in your digestive system.
So the idea that someone sneezes on me and gives me a virus, that's just poppycock.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And number one thing, it depends on your mood. Because your mood is able to influence your immune system. If your immune system is fine, it means that your mental situation is fine, that your moods are good. If you are in a bad mood, but not just for 5 minutes, for 5 years, for 50 years, your hypophysis and your hypothalamus, and that's where our subconscious stays. Our subconscious is living in our hypothalamus. If you have good mood, your hypothalamus is working in a good way. And so you produce a lot of healing hormones, like dopamine, like serotonin, like encephalins, and so on and so forth. But when we have bad mood, for a long time, not for a short time, hypothalamus, which is the subconscious, is not working in a good way. So I believe that we produce our own viruses.
Franco, let me jump in real quick here. So if a person ends up with what they would call the flu, which is supposed to be a virus, knowing what you just said, there must be methods available to more quickly heal than we're currently aware of.
Lifestyle. Number one, you have to eat very little. I don't mean starvation, but something like that. If you are afraid you might have a cold or a flu, diet is number one remedy. Water, good water, is number one remedy. And meditation, relaxation, because meditation and relaxation are able to improve your immune system. Stress, on the other hand, is able to destroy your immune system. So it's ridiculous that you get a virus from anybody else. Whenever you have a flu, there is a bad mood inside of you. Maybe you want to avoid something, you want to skip something, you don't want to go to work, you don't want to see that guy, that woman, and so you get sick. And psychosomatic medicine, which is very old, it comes from Tibetan medicine, so 5,000 years old. Psychosomatic medicine is telling us that the bad mood knows where to go. So there are moods going to your stomach and you will have a stomach ache. There are bad moods going to your kidneys and you will have a disease in that area, or to the skin, or to the belly, or to the thyroid, and so on and so forth. Why? Because moods are frequencies. Good moods are high frequencies, and you improve, and you are healed. And who is able to heal you? Your subconscious. Your subconscious is your doctor. The best doctor you have is your hypothalamus, which is your subconscious. There is a whole pharmacy in our brain. Much, much better than the pharmacy we have outside in our towns. Then when you have bad moods, hypothalamus is weak. And the immune system becomes full of adrenaline and cortisol. What does it mean? That your antibodies are not working anymore. So mood and immune system are very, very, very connected to each other.
So, Franco, explain this. Normally, the ideas that we've been taught is that if someone's got a virus, they've got the flu, and they're in there laying in bed, I don't want to go near that person. And if I do go near that person, I'll probably catch the flu. But with what you have just
nonsense.
But what you just described, it's more like saying that person's in a bad mood, and so it affected my mood, and I got myself sick.
That's it. We have to handle stress. We have to learn how to handle stress through lifestyle, as I told you before: diet, movement, meditation, yoga, relaxation. That's the only way out, because stress is number one cause of all the diseases in the world. Number one.
Well, I mean, I guess I would have to add here, think of all the people who go out and get a flu shot and then end up getting the flu. So, I mean, thinking about this, we could start to deduce that the flu shot is helping create the problem that's going to make us sick. Is that right?
Probably. Yeah. I never suggest anybody to take a flu shot. Never. You can take vitamins. You can take spagyric remedies, homeopathic remedies. You can go to yoga, to meditation, walk, hug a tree. I'm not kidding you. Hug a tree is
I do that.
Wonderful. Wonderful. At least once a week, we have to spend at least 1 hour in nature, walking in nature, breathing in nature, because we are nature. If we go too far from nature, we get sick. In 1974, in California, there was the first scientific research about psychosomatic medicine. What did they discover? 90% of our diseases are psychosomatic. What does that mean? It depends on your moods. Why not 100%? Because 5% is injury. If you have a car accident or something like that, but only 5% needs surgery. 95% of our diseases are psychosomatic, emotional.
Which basically means, Franco, you have a better chance of getting sick from the evening news than you do from someone coughing on you.
Right. All the ancient medicines, like Ayurvedic medicine, Taoistic medicine, Tibetan medicine, Egyptian medicine, all of them are telling us, take care of your mood. Relax, meditate. That's number one. That's the best way out. If you're taking any drug, it's not going to work. Of course, there are some drugs to help you survive. When you go to ER, emergency room, in that case, you need chemistry, drugs. But only in that case. If you want to take good care of you, change your lifestyle. So I'm telling you this, the best antidote of viruses is to keep yourself in good health. Increase your EMF, electromagnetic field. Increase your energy in any way you know. Increase your oxygen. Get rid of stress. Number one cause of diseases all over the world. Get rid of acidity. Lifestyle. So, basification of our body is very important. What does that mean? Basification means you avoid acidity. You get rid of acidity through lifestyle, diet, movement, meditation, so on and so forth. Yoga, meditation are important for our soul and are a healing agent for viruses. Do you want to get rid of viruses? Okay, yoga, meditation, good food, good water, movement. So in other words, bad mood causes viruses. Any kind of virus comes to you when you are upset, when you're angry, when you're anxious, when you're feeling blue. But those viruses leave you if your energy grows high. You don't even have to take anything. You don't have even to take any homeopathic, spagyric, or any other kind of remedy, increase your frequencies. And all of you should know how to do it. Start with breathing. Breathing is number one medicine. It's free. You can learn right now. Breathe in and be conscious you're breathing in. Breathe out and be conscious you're breathing out. Watch your breathing. Or at least for 15 minutes every day, you watch your breathing. At least 15 minutes. You should do it all the time, but at least 15 minutes. That's yoga. That's so easy. Even a child can do that. So number one, medicine is increasing our energy. Number two, natural medicine, holistic medicine. However, holistic medicine tells you you have to relax. You have to practice meditation. So they are stick together. They are in cooperation. Okay?
Perfect. It's almost, Franco, it's almost like the word virus, that people who want to start to gain a more common sense view of the world should quit using the word virus and kind of think of it as, I mean, I think you said it best, a bit like a mood vampire.
Yeah, a mood vampire. That's it.
Yeah, and that's an incredible thing to think about. When you interact with people during the course of the day, if you have a good mood, that's infectious. Other people can pick up on that, but even more so, if you tell a person that you're impressed with something they've done or a family member that you love them, that is also a way to boost moods. But what would you add, Franco?
I would add that one of the main things in life is to know how to center yourself, to be centered. What does that mean? It means you have to be in balance, in good balance. You have to look inward. Happiness is inside of you, not outside. If you're trying to be happy, watching outside of you, you will never be happy. First, you have to look inside. Inside, there is an inner world. You have to discover it. When you discover your inner world, your energy is so high, you feel fine. You are centered. When you are centered, there is a protection coming to you. Your electromagnetic field is a protection. We don't have only one body. We have at least 5 bodies. The one we see is made of flesh and bones. But for instance, our second body is electromagnetic. And so on, that we have many other bodies, and they are subtle bodies. But the protection we need comes from the electromagnetic field that we are producing in our little tiny cell. We have at least 100,000 trillion cells. All of them, each one of them, is making a little electromagnetic field every second. All together, it's like a big battery. So if you breathe, if you look inside of you, if you're searching the truth, electromagnetic field will be a protection. Like a shield you have, it protects you. So you can go anywhere and nothing will bother. Nothing will destroy you. Or, in other words, you will be much, much stronger than anybody else. So look in. Do not look out. And how can we trigger self-healing? Lifestyle, meditation, good food, good movement. So you have to keep high, I mean high waves, high electric field, high electromagnetic field, high mood, high energy. Be happy. Be in love with yourself. Be in love with the universe. Be in love with anybody else. Remember, society wants you to be sad, sick, without energy, drug dependent. But you are divine. You're full of energy. You are important. You're very important. Never forget that.